Hi, this is Lynette from Nettie Reads Too Much, coming to you with another video. Can I start by saying to everyone who has commented on my original video and to those of you who have subscribed to my channel already, thank you so much. The welcome has been amazing, to be perfectly honest with you. I did not expect any views to happen at all on the first day, let alone the first week. I thought it would be weeks before I would see anything appearing at all, let alone comments or even subscribers. That is awesome, and I knew this was a friendly community. I've seen that from following channels myself, and but I never in a million years thought that I would get such a warm welcome to begin with. And please excuse my cat, he's decided that he wants to take part in the video because I'm talking to people, and he wants to say hello. So here he is. His name's Pickles, and he's just a bog standard moggy, and he doesn't like it when I try to do something that doesn't involve him. So he's knocked everything on the floor now, all my notes and everything. So right, so I thought this video that I would talk to you about some reading goals that I've set myself for this year. They're very basic goals. I have a Goodreads goal, and I have a goal for not buying quite so many books this year, and I have a 2017 TBR. I don't normally make to be read lists. I am a very random reader, and I will just read the next book that takes my fancy rather than planning what I'm going to read. So to have a goal for the year is a step forward for me with the planning, and I'm hoping that it works out quite well. So this year, Goodreads. Now, I know Goodreads calls it a challenge. I don't like the word challenge. I don't think that reading should be a challenge. I think it should be a joy. It should be a pleasure. You should do it because you want to, not because you have to. This year, I've set my goal at 75. That's a little low for me. In the last 5 years, I have read in excess of 100 books every year. However, with the fact that I have a 2017 TBR, I thought that I may find it a bit more of a slog to get to 100 books. I didn't think I would reach 100 books this year, so I decided to reduce it and set it at 75 instead. I felt that with some of the books I was aiming to read this year being such large books, that they would slow me down a bit more. I've been reading some very, very quick books in recent years, which I think has helped get me up to such a high number of books read. So 75 books to read according to Goodreads, and so far at just about the halfway point of the year, I have finished 52 books, 16 books ahead of schedule. However, not all of those are from my 2017 TBR. Some of them are very quick reads, some of them are very easy reads, and I think that those have actually contributed more to the amount that I've read rather than my TBR. I need to make an effort to change that. So I'm doing very well with my Goodreads goal. I've decided, I know some people, if they find they're getting ahead or getting behind, will adjust their goal. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it at 75. I feel like I set that for a reason, and I think that maybe I will slow up in the second half of this year. So I think 75 is still realistic. if I manage to finish more than 75, every book over is a bonus, and it will be because I enjoyed it. If I don't reach 75, oh well, I will still have been reading, and to me that's the important thing. So as I've said, the next thing that I've set myself is a to be read pile for 2017. Now, I think maybe I need to cut over this one a little bit and explain to you why I've decided not to buy as many books this year. There were a couple of reasons. The main one being because I had this 2017 TBR. I have bought, since I bought my first Kindle in 2011, I have bought in excess of 1,200 books. That's a lot. It's quite a lot. I think I'm averaging 200 a year. I'm not reading all of those. Of those, I've read in excess of 690 books this year. Not this year. That would be awesome if I read that many in a year, but I don't think even I can read that many. No, I've read since September 2011 when I had my Kindle. I have read in excess of 690 books. So I still have a good 4 to 500 books on my TBR, on my Kindle, that I need to read. I am one of these people that sees, oh, pretty shiny cover, must have, or oh, that sounds good, must have, and I will buy them, and I quite frequently do, hence why it's gotten so big. So on the 1st of January this year, my New Year's resolutions, for want of a better term, were to read more books from my current existing TBR, so anything bought on the 31st of December 2016 or before, and also to not buy as many books this year. I have restricted myself to certain authors. I can only buy certain authors. They are authors whose books I know without a shadow of a doubt they could write the dictionary and I would read it. They are my auto-buy go-to authors when I need something to pick me up. There's about half a dozen of those. I've failed this goal miserably so far this year. I have bought books I was not supposed to buy. That has to stop, because unfortunately in March I took a pay decrease because I decided that I needed to spend more time at home, and as a result the spare cash that I was using to fund my book buying habit is no longer there. So I have to stop. The authors that I've restricted myself to, they only have about half a dozen books due out this year, because they're on Amazon and because they're ebook. They're not as expensive as buying regular paper and ink books, hardback, paperback, etc. So I find that that would be affordable for me this year. Also, my family are very good and they will give me cash or Amazon gift cards so that I can buy books and buy things that I will read with that money. I have, before anybody says anything about ways to get books, I have rejoined my local library. I did that a couple of months ago, and I have borrowed a few books so far, and I'm actually really enjoying going to the library, something I haven't enjoyed since my late teens. So my 2017 TBR. My Kindle is very organised. It has all my books that are unread arranged into collections by the month and year that they were bought, so I can go to a book and find out when I bought it. If I've read them, they are only organised by the year in which they were bought, rather than by month and year. I'm trying to reduce down the number of books I have and the number of months I have showing books unread. So for every month that I had an unread book on the collection, I picked one book from that month and put it on the list. I also have a list of books that I have started and for whatever reason put to one side and not gone back to, and those from those I picked about another half dozen books that I'm going to aim to finish this year. Of those books, that left me with a list of 68 books, of which I have read 22. So I'm not quite halfway, considering we're halfway in the year. And obviously that does mean that 30 books of the 52 that I've read this year are new books, far more than it should have been. My aim is to try to read at least 2 old books for every new book that I read. I'm way behind on that. I should have read 60 of the 68 according to that goal. So I am running way behind with that at the moment. So what I've decided to do from now on is that I am just going to stick. I have a book due out this week that I will read as soon as it releases. I'm going to be very strict on my book buying and only buy the auto-buy authors. And I'm now only going to read from the list of 68 books. Of those 68 books though, as I say, I've read 22. I have DNF'd one. I'm a little bit sad about it because it was a book that I wanted to read. I was trying to broaden my book horizons in the last few years. I've bought a lot of romance books and I'm trying to reduce the amount of romance I read. Not that romance is a bad genre, but I do enjoy other genres as well, and some of them have fallen by the wayside in the last few years, so I want to get back to reading a more wide variety. I decided to have a go at something a bit more literary, and I chose Birdsong by Sebastian Faulks, not quite sure how to pronounce his surname. And unfortunately I've gotten halfway through, and every time I pick it up I read the current page that I'm on, do not turn the page, and find something else to read. I've done that half a dozen times, so I have made the sad decision, unfortunately. As much as I enjoyed the first half of the book, it's taken me a couple of years to get to the point where I'm halfway through, and I feel that for me it's not worth carrying on. So I think that's everything on my list. That's all my reading challenges for this year, or reading goals. They're not challenges. It's not a challenge. I'm going to try and do better in the second half of the year, and hopefully at the end of the year, if I'm still doing these videos, I will have a positive end to the year to report. Thank you again for all your support and all your welcomes. I was blown away. I will hopefully be back again with another video soon. Bye.